So Pope Leo, the Pope, our Pope, my Pope, I'm kidding, I'm not Catholic, but he's still my Pope in my heart. Well, he is now in the crosshairs of Donald Trump after some recent comments about the US-Iran war. We're going to go over some of those comments here in detail, and it's also causing his other cardinals to also speak out against this, and Trump is losing it. So last night, in another tweet-filled, truth-filled rage, Trump went on to attack the Pope. We're going to read that as well, his direct truth. And he also posted this AI SLOP image that I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm going to show you at the end. So yeah, I'll leave that as a little bit of surprise to end on here. But anyways, so some of the comments that Pope Leo XIV have came out recently, I'm going to read them here. This is from CBS News. You can look up this whole article yourself. It has a lot of like back and forth of some different people here, like another cardinal, and just kind of dissecting what like the Catholic Church's view on the war is. Anyways, I want to focus in on here where I've highlighted Nora O'Donnell. Holy Father, can I ask you what your hopes are for the Middle East? And Pope Leo responds with, I am praying for peace. I hope that the ceasefire would be the most effective way to work together to find peace for all parties, to respect all parties, and come to a solution, which is too many years and, creating problems for everyone. So work for peace. Since our visit, the Pope's tone has sharpened. This past week, he issued a rare condemnation of President Trump's threat to destroy the Iranian civilization. The Pope called it, quote, truly unacceptable. He also took the unusual step of issuing a call to action. Pope Leo XIV, contact the authorities, political leaders, congressmen, to tell them to work for peace and to reject war always. The Holy Father usually avoids calling out President Trump by name or any member of his administration, but in a Palm Sunday homily, he appeared to reference the religious language Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, who is Christian but not Catholic, often uses to frame the war. Pope Leo warned that Jesus, quote, does not listen to the prayers of those who wage war. Get his ass, Pope. Get his ass. I don't know, man. Until recent years, I haven't really followed the Catholic Church all that much, but this Pope and the last Pope, they were based as hell when it comes to war, anti-war, standing up and speaking out against genocide. It's amazing. But let's see how Trump just absolutely melts down here. So in another late night truth, actually this one wasn't too late by his standards. This was at 9:03 p.m. on April 12th. That would have been Sunday evening. Pope Leo is weak on crime and terrible for foreign policy. He's the Pope. Pause. We're talking about the Pope. Anyways, he talks about fear of the Trump administration, but doesn't mention the fear that the Catholic Church and all other Christian organizations had during COVID when they were arresting priests, ministers, and everybody else for holding church services, even when going outside, and being 10 and 20 feet apart. I like his brother Louis much better than I like him because Louis is all MAGA. He gets it and Leo doesn't. I don't want a pope who thinks it's okay for Iran to have a nuclear weapon. I don't think he ever said that. I don't want a pope who thinks it's terrible that America attacked Venezuela, a country that was sending massive amounts of drugs into the United States, and even worse, killers into our country. Okay, neither of that is true. The amount of drugs that Venezuela brought into the U.S. were minuscule to where it comes from other sources, and invading these countries where drugs are coming from is not the solution to stopping drugs. In fact, you're probably going to make the situation worse, more unstable. Like it's what are we talking about? What are we talking about? It's just so dumb, and it's crazy. How dare the Pope be like anti-war and stuff? Like, how dare he? Okay, so drugs in the United States, and even worse, emptying their prisons, including murderers, drug dealers, and killers into our country. And I don't want a pope who criticizes the president of the United States because I'm doing exactly what I was elected in a landslide to do. setting record low numbers in crime. And yeah, you're just following a trend, bro. You're just following a trend that you could see started right after COVID was starting to wrap up under Biden. And just kind of a decades long trend anyways. Wow, congratulations, you didn't buck the trend. In creating the greatest stock market in history, Leo should be thankful because, as everyone knows, he was a shocking surprise. He wasn't on any list to be Pope and was only put there by the church because he was an American. And they thought that would be the best way to deal with President Donald J. Trump. If I wasn't in this White House, Leo wouldn't be in the Vatican. How could you possibly know that? You understand what he's saying here. He says, yeah, the Pope, the current Pope, they were chosen to be Pope. They were elected to be Pope because of me. Where does this guy get off? Oh my God, this is our president. Like, I feel like I'm reading some boomer post on Facebook. Like, and this isn't even honestly that bad compared to other things I've read from Trump. But Jesus Christ, man, this is the Pope you're talking about. Like, all these religious zealots that are like a part of your administration and a part of your cult. They're not going to say anything about this. They're not going to say anything about this because you somehow, despite how religious and how much they care about Jesus and God and the church and whatever, they are going to take the word of the freaking president, Donald Trump, over the words of the actual Pope. I wish that wasn't the case, but that is 100% the case. Unfortunately, Leo's weak on crime, weak on nuclear weapons, does not sit well with me, nor does the fact that he meets with Obama sympathizers like David Axelrod, a loser from the left, who is one of those who wanted churchgoers and clerics to be arrested. Like, what do you mean? You call for various groups to get arrested all the time. Whether it's just standard Democrats, the news media who will sometimes call you out. Like, what are we... God, he's such a freaking baby. Leo should get his act together as Pope, use common sense, stop catering to the radical left, and focus on being a great Pope, not a politician. It's hurting him very badly, and more importantly, it's hurting the Catholic Church, President Donald J. Trump. What a joke, man. What a freaking joke. Anyways, as promised, here is the picture that Trump posted at 9:49 p.m. So about, 40 minutes after calling the Pope weak and going on how the Pope is weak on nuclear weapons. All right. But yeah, AI slop. And by the way, like, look at this. Look at this. Is that supposed to be like Jon Stewart or something? Anyways, what? Come on. Like, is anyone on the religious side going to freak out about this? Probably not. They're going to be like, he's so based. He's trolling, bro. Don't you understand? He's just trolling. It's like, all right, man. Like, are you in high school? Am I in high school? Like, we're not in high school anymore. You have a bunch of grown 40-year-old men are just raving about how this 70, 80-year-old probably pedophile at this point, it just is mocking the Pope, mocks the military. He just mocks everyone, mocks scientists. It's crazy. But this begs the question, is there truly anything that Trump can do for people? Like, is there any person he can call out, any policy that he implements that will lead his supporters to wake up? Like, he thinks he knows better than the Pope and insults the Pope for just saying, hey, I'm anti-war. Like, we need to stop with this war stuff. And on a complete other side of the coin, he thinks he's smarter than climate scientists and scientists in general. He thinks that he's smarter than doctors and medical experts when it comes to vaccines and, other medicines that he's cut research for. He started an illegal, offensive, and immoral war against a country that wasn't going to attack us, that wasn't planning to attack us. Like, there was... When he was supposed to be the anti-war, pro-peace candidate, he's somehow the small government guy when he wants to increase the military budget by 44% up to $1.5 trillion. And he pumped so much money into a domestic police force and ICE to where it gets more funding than the U.S. Marines, which is saying something when you talk about how much we spend on our military. His name appears the most in the Epstein files. He has so many credible allegations against him for pedophilia. He was convicted of sexual assault in court. He has for rape, essentially. He was convicted of rape. But no. It was a civil court, so it doesn't count. Like, God, what does it take? I swear to God, this man just, There's nothing that these freaks and weirdos that still support him, like, there's nothing that Trump can do that would make them just second guess it. Like, I don't know what we do with all these people. They aren't okay. There is something very sick and twisted in the minds of the people who still just outright support him. Like, I don't know how you get past that. Like, I'll stop myself right there. But anyways, that's all I have for this one. And let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And I will see you in the next one. If you made it to this point in the video, I just want to give a special thank you. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button down below. And if you really enjoyed it, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button while you're down there. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. I will try to reply to any and all comments that I can. Until next time, watch that video on screen.